Morning everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. It is early Friday morning, and as I promised, an update for you on the Peter Nygard case. Of course, Peter Nygard is another person like Jeffrey, another friend of Andrew's. They all seem to have the same thing in common, and that's the P word. Well, he is going to be sentenced today in court here in Toronto. The Crown prosecution is calling for a 15-year sentence. And his lawyers, I mean, they know he's hooped. They're calling for 6 years, little less than half of that. So prosecution 15, his lawyers 6. We have to see what the judge has to say. They'll be appearing in court in a few hours. I'll be at work today, so I will let you know later on. I'll pop on a little later and do a video early evening, kind of let you know, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But yeah, another one taken out. At least he's gonna do some time for all of this. And in Britain right now, they have just been exposed to another P-word scandal with another very popular, very well-paid, one of the most well-paid people at the BBC, Hugh Edwards, their star news guy, if the Queen's funeral, royal weddings, Prince Philip's funeral. He was the face of the BBC in many respects for like 4 decades, and he was just in court the other day to plead guilty to a bunch of charges of the most heinous kind involving small humans. You know what I'm talking about. Here's another one. I mean, and people, what's kind of interesting, people are kind of going, the news is like, oh, the BBC, it's all secretive. Jimmy Savile, there's another guy. Like, how is this always happening in the BBC? Well, I'll tell you, it's not just the BBC. Just like Jeffrey, hedge fund manager, Nygard, fashion mogul. It's not just the BBC, it's elitist, rich billionaires. I mean, the P word, those actions against small humans, I hate to say it, but that's what greases the gears. That's what all of the elites are involved in. It truly is. The more you research, doesn't matter if it's the heads of the church, the heads of the businesses, this, that. You see it everywhere. And there's reasons why, a few reasons why, and why it works, and why it's done, and how people get involved. And and the whole question, Prince Andrew, was he or wasn't he? Did he know? Did he not know? What's the evidence? We'll never know, but it seems pretty odd to pay a woman over $12 million that you claim you've never met just to keep her out of court. Just saying. So yeah, it's hideous and disgusting, and that veil of shame is something that's never going to leave Andrew, and it's always going to hang over the royal family until people are getting upset. Why are he and Fergie still allowed to stay in Royal Lodge? I mean, 30 rooms, 90 acres. He's living the life of a country gentleman. There was an article not too long ago. He golfs at an exclusive golf club. He rides horses in Windsor Park. He's a man of leisure. Charles is funding his security. Charles is, I think, in part funding Royal Lodge. Charles could get rid of him if he wants. Charles could put an end to all of this and tuck Andrew safely away somewhere, and there's nothing Andrew could do because Charles is king, but he's weak. Like I've said all along, the same kind of crap. Harry and Meghan, Charles is still paying their security, as with the American government and the British government together, I'm sure, are also funding a lot of things, as we've seen. Harry and Meghan, the useful idiots, are working for the agenda, you know. They're working for the agenda, whether you like it or not. The censorship complex, the whole, online thing that they just did another interview about this. Like, they are the internet police now. They want to work towards what we can and cannot see. And, it's all about their thin skin. They don't want people to be able to have anything but a positive opinion about them. They don't want to read negative comments. They don't want negative press. And they don't want the truth to be told, just their truth. And they've managed to, with their connections and the people and foundations they're connected to, find a platform to be of use to the worldwide agenda. And that's it. And the royal family, the monarchy is not immune. I mean, and people say, well, how can Harry and Meghan get away with these fake royal tours and all the crap they're doing online? Well, really, even though they're not part of the royal family, they are using and being used. This is how all the elites operate. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And in amongst that, attitude deals are made, right? So, and Harry and Meghan, they can send them around the world to do this and that and promote globalist agendas. The royal family themselves are globalists. That's why they're being allowed to do it, because they're really, even though they're out of the royal family and these are not authorized royal visits, they're still working. They're still working for the same team. I'll tell you, they are. Charles is a globalist. William is a globalist. All this climate change claptrap, and we must adjust our lives to save the world. Charles is going to build a bunch of wind farms. He's going to profit off that. Money's not going to the public. That's not going to reduce your bills. In fact, Charles and the government have teamed up to do more wind field on Charles's seabeds. He's going to be everybody's going to be making money but the public. It's going to be publicly funded. Whenever the government is involved in something, that's tax dollars. That's your money. You're funding Charles's fancy, to which he is gonna profit tens of millions of dollars a year on. Good for Charles, saving the earth. William's no better. William's no, but it's not Harry Bad with Travelist and William's no better. He is, climate change. He's as much a globalist as any of them, and they're all members of the World Economic Forum. They're all beating the same drum towards the same goal, which is limiting yours and mine's rights, freedoms, access to resources, the whole shebang. Their attitude is the mass population like us. We need to be kicked back to like a feudalism scenario. This is what the World Economic Forum, the world agenda for one world government, and this is what it's all about. Conservation, all this. That's kicking people off land and creating great areas of the planet where humans aren't allowed to go. Well, not us humans. The elites, yeah, they'll have access to the land and safaris and, but not regular folk. Just look at a map of Canada and see how much of it is crown land, protected land, owned by the monarchy. Just an aside, it's been happening, this agenda, this is nothing new. This didn't just come about in the last 10 years and all of a sudden everybody's worried about the planet. These plans have been in place for over 100 years. This is a long-term project to bring the world to its knees. And the royal family are right in the middle of it. Right in the middle of it. That's why we're not surprised to hear that Harry and Meghan are planning now a trip to Colombia, another farcical royal tour. And they're going to be talking about internet safety in a country where kidnapping and movement of small humans and crimes against small humans and women, off the charts. But, less than 20% of the population has an internet connection, and they're going to go there and talk about internet safety and how it can lead to people wanting to end their lives. And that Harry and Meghan, they're such experts, they can suss this out and tell you what needs to be done. In a country where the US and the UK Home Offices, State Department are saying, don't go to Colombia, it's one of the most unsafe places on earth. They're gonna go. To hell with safety. They were just, in Africa, Nigeria, another highly unsafe country. They'll go to these places, but they won't go to Britain because that's terribly unsafe. I mean, the hypocrisy of this all is astounding, but it doesn't matter. And they know it doesn't matter because they can get away with it because they are being propped up by all these various foundations and think tanks and progressive organizations that are working towards the common goal of hemming in humans. So they can get away with whatever they want. The royal family is not stopping them because they are still working for the cause. And I mean, I don't know, what can be done. There are things that can be done. Charles won't do them. William might, just to get rid of the threat of those two. But this is what's so frustrating to us, is we see the hypocrisy of all of this. It's in your face. But it doesn't matter, because they're the elites, and that's just the way it goes. That's what it is to be a human that sees what's going on these days, to understand all your institutions, all your leaders, they are working against you. It's just, that's it. That's it. But knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, and there's more of us than them, and they know it. Think about that. Think about that, and I will let you know later. I will pop on and give an update on Peter Nygard, and we'll see what kind of charges he actually got, what kind of sentence he's actually got. So, more for you later. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, share, and leave me a comment. I want to know what you have to think about all of this. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.